All right, picking up at question number 4. So you can make up your own ruler as well. You can pick up your own ruler as well. So if this is your rise, which one should I make 1? Should I make the rise 1 or the run 1? Should I make the rise 1 or the run 1? So if I'm going to make a ruler, and that ruler has to start with a base measurement, right? What should the base measurement be? Should the base measurement be the long one or the short one, do you think? I hear a lot of votes for short. I agree. Why does that make sense?
Because you can make multiples of those.
And that's easier than dividing. We just had a discussion about division versus multiplication. And multiplication is much easier to tolerate than division is. I'm with Stace on this one. So I think what we should do is make a mark on the paper, or whatever you want to use, and call that 1 something. So I'm going to do that, show that to the camera so they can see it. So what I did was I just made that 1. That's the ruler for 1. I'm going to zoom this in now. And then what we can do is we can lay that down on the run. 2, 3, 4. Trying to get one a little far on that. 5, 6, and maybe a little smidge if you want to get really nitpicky. So I'm already seeing the 1/6. I'm seeing the 1/6, right? It's a rise of 1. 1 what? What do you want to call this? Call it a face? Oh, call it an egg. It's an egg, right? So the rise over the run is 1 egg over 6 eggs. And it does not matter what the hell you call it, because what's going to happen is it's going to cancel so long as you use the same units. So long as you use the same units, it's down to 1/6, which ends up with a grade of about 17%, 16.666%. Some of you got 14%. It all depends on how precisely you measure. This is not a super precise measurement, and actually my grade is not that high because I ignored that little tiny bit that's over here. The bottom actually isn't 6, it's more like 6.1 or 6.15. But we're not building, crown molding fixtures here. We're just making sure we understand how grade works. So far, grade is the rise over the run. Make sure the units are the same. Doesn't matter what units you use, and we've approximated that. And now comes the fun part. What angle is formed? Now this was the one that kind of stopped a bunch of you, like, wait a minute, I don't know how to do this. And I'm not going to teach you the mathy way of doing it, because nobody uses the mathy way anymore. We just look it up. Now, actually, there's a couple ways you can do it. Has anybody ever used a protractor before? Let me ask you a question. A protractor, semicircle with a... Marcella's looking at me with this weird look like, stop talking about that awful thing. And that's okay. That's okay if I haven't used it in a long, long time. But that's a really good way of getting quick angles. If you've ever used a miter box, that's another way to kind of measure certain kind of, if you're cutting angled wood, like if you're cutting 2x4s to mix together at a 45 degree or a 30 or 60 degree angle, things like that. But it's okay. I taught you yesterday how to look things up online. So let's do that. Let's Google a tangent table. I'm gonna back this back out a little bit. No, that's zoomed in. That's all the stuff that nobody needs to see. My nose. All right, let's Google a tangent table. And I think we used this NASA one yesterday. I'm pretty sure that's one I always use. It just keeps sitting there, not going away, so hell yeah. So your job now is to find your grade. You notice how the table, is this in your way, ladies? Can you see past this? Okay, it's not gonna be the entire class. Just want to move around a little tiny bit. Okay, so when you look for your grade and you're trying to find your angle, what column is your grade going to be in? Good, thank you. It's going to be in a column called tangent of the angle. Tangent's just another word for grade. Just like slope is another word for grade. They all mean the same thing. Okay, we're going to learn why it's called a tangent eventually in this class when we go outside and do the bike experiment. So I'm going to look up my 16.66666% grade, which as a decimal is 0.1666666. So 0.166. I'm not going to find it exact. No, I'm not going to find it exact. Look at that. It's right between 15.84 and 17.63%. So it's right about halfway-ish. So I'm going to say the angle's about 9.5 degrees. That's what I would say for mine. I'm going to give you a tool later on today that actually gets it to you to 1/10 of a degree without having to think about it at all. You just put the numbers in for rise and run, and boop, out pops the angle. But for now, that's good enough. Just Google on one tangent table. Now, if your grade was a little bit less than 16.66%, then your angle will also be a little less. Or if your grade was a little more, was anybody higher than 17% with their grade calculation? It's possible, right? So your angle's gonna be a little bit higher. That's totally fine. That's the point of this warm-up is just getting us in the same ballpark, making sure we know what grade means, and making sure we know what all the components of it are. So you've got rise over run for number 1, you've got the same units in number 2, doesn't matter what units you use in number 3, and then we just calculated the grade of our road and got the angle. How we feeling?
Good.
Hells yeah. Talk to me, Elisa, go ahead.
Number 4.
Number 4 was the percentage. Like in mine, it was 1/6. 16.66%. Yours will probably be a little different depending on how you measured it. It's all based on how you measured your rise and run. Shannon brought up a really good point that I hadn't thought of. He noticed that the asphalt in my little picture here doesn't go to a point. So he thought maybe I should extend the asphalt out to a point, which actually is a really, really good point. Bad pun. But I mean, it's a terrible pun. Don't salute it. Don't worry about it if you didn't do it. That was something I should probably fix in the next iteration of the warm-up. Cool? Well, let's hand them up then. Thank you. Yes. That was a pretty boring one. Some of the warm-ups are like engaging. I didn't know how to make it engaging while simultaneously making sure we understood the stuff from yesterday. We'll get interesting today with the quiz, I think.
Thank you.
Huh?
We have a quiz today.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right. So I want to do an extension. I want to keep practicing this great idea, and then we're going to get into what Shannon was talking about earlier with the conversions, because that is one of the more useful parts of grade. I'm giving you slightly fictitious examples to play with right now, and you're going to see why. We're going to look at one more slightly fictitious one, but because of the way Mother Nature works, we can do it, and it's pretty badass. I'm going to start the camera up again here. Anybody been to Moab, Utah? Anybody? Moab, Utah. Anybody? Couple? Only one? Maybe one? Only one hand. Okay. Arches National Park? Anybody? Arches? Well, that's okay. I thought maybe I could fool some people into realizing they had been there, even though they didn't think they had. So Moab's down in the, oh God, where is it? Is it the southeast-ish corner? More east than south, I think. Yeah, it's like going to if you're going toward Delta, Colorado, or Grand Junction, Colorado, you end up going through Moab. If you're in Utah, we're recording. Yes, we are. Okay. So I'm going to show you one of the greatest parts about the area down there is the sandstone stuff you see down there. If you watch Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade, the entire first part of that movie is shot in Monument Valley, which is just amazing. The mittens and the convent and the priests and the nuns and all these the Fisher Towers, beautiful, beautiful stuff. And there's this one rock that's down there that's fairly iconic in Moab. This is in Moab proper. It's called Lion's Back. And years ago, when my family was going there to go mountain biking, I think it was owned privately, but the person that owned it would let you pay $5. I never did this because I wanted to live to see the next day. You could pay him $5, and then he'd let you drive your 4x4 up and then back down this thing. So just to give you an idea of how big it is, you see the people on top of it up there. Hopefully you can see them up there. There's people up there. So, this is not like a little tiny rock. This is a big ass rock. So you could pay him $5. He would just sit at the bottom with his little chair, his campfire, and you give him $5, and he's like, "Good luck." And then I remember when I got there the first time. This is back in like 1997 or something. It's now closed. It's private property, and you're not allowed to do this anymore. Thank God. I'm going to show you some videos of people doing it over the years here in a second. But I noticed at the bottom of it, there were these huge oil stains. And I said, "What's that from?" He's like, "Well, some people just don't have the clearance." So they'd be, driving up and driving down, and they'd smash their crankcases and just spill out their transmission all over the side of Lion's Back. So yeah, not the greatest idea, I don't think, to, in general, do this. But there's some videos of people doing this. I found a few. Let's see what we got here. Go anywhere. Closed since 2004. Yes, it is. could not have paid me to be that guy behind the trucks. I'll stand behind you and film you driving away. Genius. Now they're gonna do like a 18-point turn. I can turn it down. Oh, it's okay. Oh, it's okay. Hope you're enjoying this Tuesday, Thursday. It's quite the same. You really do want yourself. See the one at the bottom just exited. So that's super fun, right? So, but that is a relatively new video. This is my favorite video from Lions Back. This is when her brakes failed going down. So this is her. She lived. That was her talking. It was her giving me. She's totally fine. She was. I don't know how the hell she's totally fine because that was back in the 80s before we had things like airbags and common sense apparently. But she's fine. That was her getting the interview after it happened. So I don't know how the hell she doesn't have at least a black eye from that impact because it's just. And I don't know how the hell she kept it on the rib without going off the side, because that would have been a totally different story, right? But my favorite. Oh, Florida Oz, go ahead.
No. I was
Go
gonna
ahead.
say it'd be fun to see it one more time, but if you got another
No,
one.
we can do it again. Sure. I think it's an old Bronco. At least it looks like it. Just a bounce. Jeez Louise. And we're gonna finish with this one. So that you've seen part of this already. This is my favorite.
What? That would be.
Oh, dude, I want to do so bad now. I mean, the turnaround's a lot easier, right? He's got two wheels. Like a
Have you ever done anything like that?
It's incredible. Slick Rock is amazing. You stick to everything.
I've been to Fort Rock, or not Fort Rock, but
Slick Rock. There he goes. What the hell is that noise?
that was the other girl.
Oh, the other day was pooping. I think he's making that noise. Go, Julio, go! Crazy Paisan. And there we are. All right, cool. Let me turn some of these off. Oh, that one's, oh God. No good can come of this. So what we're going to do is we're going to analyze Lions Back today. Because did you catch some of the numbers that were flying by on those videos? Give me one of them.
65
65 what?
degrees.
Degree incline. Okay, and there's something else that popped by too. 30 feet up. So we're going to test some of those numbers based using some Google Earth snapshots, some measurement, and using exactly what we're doing in class. So we're going to do, I'm going to give these to you. This is our first in-class quiz, which is basically just a continuation of our warm-up today, really. I will do these from time to time. I try to get at least one every couple weeks. I like in-class quizzes because they do count towards your 10 that you need, obviously, but also because we're all together. It's nice having us all kind of in a learning environment where we're chatting through things. So go ahead, Tuesday, Thursday, go ahead and download the quiz as well.
Wrong set, sorry.
Oh, Trish. Honey, just get it over here. You gotta make more noise like me.
Or are there people like
Just videoing this.
or like tomorrow?
Yeah, because there's no class tomorrow.
Got it.
Oh my God, did I make exactly the right number of copies? So I'm gonna put the quiz up on the screen real quick, and then I'm gonna set you loose. Oh, you might wanna hang on to it. Just because you might want to. Just saying. Okay, I'm gonna put the quiz up on the board. 105 lessons grade quiz Lions Back. Okay, here we go. So I'm gonna set you loose after we talk about it a little bit. I want you to notice something about the video first. So in the left up here, the left image, 65-degree incline. You might remember that. That was both in the Jeep video and in the Brumati video. So Jeep video and Brumati video. Brumati's a little Italian guy that rode up the hill.
Good work, right?
But on his Twitter feed that he shared the video from, he said, my 65-degree climbing in Moab. I just said degree, didn't I? 65% climbing. There's a percent symbol right there, isn't there? Yes. 65% climbing in Moab. So what I want you to do is I want you to pay attention to those two things, because they both can't be right. Can they? Can anybody tell me a really quick, easy way to know why 65 degrees cannot be the same as a 65% grade? Talk to me, Hannah.
Degrees and
Degrees
angle.
and angle and grade. And if it's an angle, that means it has a unit on it. Thank you. And grade
Something else.
it does not have a unit on it, right? Grades are unitless. There's a percent sign, but that's not a unit as much as it's just a statement of something over 100.
Yeah.
So thank you for that. That was wonderful. Anybody else want to? Oz, go ahead.
Well, and I think that if you like compare back and forth across the table of tangents, you can kind of look at like what's a realistic what's a realistic number for what that could be.
Yes, to all of that. So here's what I want you to do. Start through the quiz with question number 1. I actually ask you right there, only one of those is a grade by the mathematical definition, blah, 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 blah. And just start working your way down through it. I'll be checking in with you as you go. If you need rulers, I'm going to ask you to measure using inch and centimeter sides of a ruler. So if you need, I just put myself in the eye with that. That was nice. You also look beautiful. Just come grab a ruler if you need it. Okay? Tuesday, Thursday class, you're going to need an inch and centimeter ruler to do the back side of the quiz. If you can't find an inch and centimeter ruler, you can make up 2 of your own rulers. Just make sure you make a note of that on the quiz you submit to me. Not y'all. Y'all have an inch. You're all good to go. I'm talking to them now. Sorry, I'm confusing them. I apologize. I'm very confusing. So go ahead, have at it, and we'll regroup in a few moments, and we'll make sure we're happy with what we've done.